2 years ago, when the genocide first began in Gaza, I was frozen in front of the news. But before long, I messaged every person I'd ever known in Gaza. Every voice I heard was filled with fear and uncertainty. We did not know it then, that the unimaginable would unfold in front of our eyes. I'm a trauma psychologist from Hong Kong, serving war-affected children and their families across the Middle East and Africa for almost 2 decades. I've worked with healthcare and child protection colleagues from Gaza since 2008. Once upon a time, we had WhatsApp groups in which all of my former colleagues have been displaced, some of them over 20 times. Many have been killed, and others are still working to save lives under fire. Do you know how scary it is to watch WhatsApp groups empty one by one until there are only 3 or 2 friends left? We chat in empty rooms that used to hold beloved people. How then to comfort those who survive? What healing is possible or meaningful during ongoing, relentless erasure? For my team at Healing for Gaza, it has meant offering someone who will listen, who can listen without judgment, and who has the clinical skill to hold the heaviness and the transference of intense, ongoing psychological traumas. One of my patients, Yara, a 10-year-old girl with blonde hair and large blue eyes, asked me, "Oh, so you want me to do this again? Tell myself I'm going to be okay, to be strong and pull myself together, to study because education is supposedly my future, and then 2 years later get bombed all over again. You know, I'm running out of limbs to lose." Children who are Yara's age have lived through at least 4 wars in Gaza. Their trauma is not episodic, it is chronic and generational, and they are fully aware. Another patient is a young man, a lawyer named Saleh, who lost his mother in the 2014 war and his father last year. He jokes that he is an adult orphan. He speaks to me about fragmentation and isolation, the invisible wounds of this genocide. He tells me, "I miss my sister intensely. We used to be 2 sides of the same coin, but now I'm in Cairo and she's in Gaza. What am I going to tell her about my life while she's trying to survive a genocide? We used to read each other's minds, but now she has no idea who I am. I feel more alone than ever." Over the last few months, Israel used starvation as a weapon of war when it blocked the entry of food and aid. One of my youngest patients, Yasser, was 3 and had cancer when the genocide began. He told me of how, when they were living in the tents in Gaza and starving, he was so angry when a bird came and stole his last tomato. But during our last session, he came in crying, worrying if the birds still have anything to eat at all. But one of the voices that has imprinted on me is that of Sara, a 26-year-old mother, but who sounded as if she was twice her age when we spoke, tired, exhausted from her responsibilities. She cares for 4 children, 2 of her own and 2 of her sisters who was killed. She is the sole caretaker for her elderly parents, and she came to therapy after her husband was recently martyred. She said to me, "Staslamet, I have surrendered to the fact that we may not make it. وَإِذَا كَتَبَ لِي Allah, and if this is what Allah has written for me, then I surrendered to it too. But I know that this is a test, and so what I ask of you is to help me pass it." When I asked her why she sought therapy, she said, "At the very least, someone will have borne witness to my life, of how I've suffered and how I've sacrificed for my family. If I die, you will have evidence that I existed." And so in the face of unimaginable loss, we are here. We are listening. We will carry your words and your stories and help you carry the heaviest of traumas so that you need not bear them alone. Amidst genocide and destruction, and even after the ceasefire comes and the burden is now to rebuild, we will accompany you every step of the way. We believe that healing is freedom, and we will not abandon you.